The mission of St. Joseph Home is to provide a home for infants and children and adults with developmental disabilities. And I think what we do best is we build community among the residents and our respite guests and their families and staff and volunteers. I think we would say we provide compassionate care for the whole person.
Caring for the whole person means more than providing just their medical and physical care needs, but their spiritual, their emotional, and their developmental needs as well.
The Sisters of Charity have believed in and sponsored St. Joseph Home for over 140 years. And it's because it helps us to meet our mission, which is to serve those who are most often left out, and to use our resources to help those who are in need. St. Joseph Home has changed not its mission, but the people that it serves over the years. So we initially were serving unwed mothers. And then we came to a place where we realized, well, that need is not there anymore. So people would say, well, could you then care for our children who have special needs? Because hardly anyone else was doing that.
St. Joseph Home stands out not only in the greater Cincinnati area, but throughout the state of Ohio. And there's very dedicated staff and a high commitment to serving folks, caring for folks who cannot care for themselves.
Our residents largely at St. Joseph Home have developmental disabilities that would fall into their nonverbal, they're non-ambulatory, and medically fragile. I would say those three things characterize the vast majority of our residents and our respite guests.
We have children that are coming in with very complex medical conditions, some of which require ventilator dependence. So that requires us to have more RNs on staff to accommodate those medical needs for those children that have those chronic medical conditions.
St. Joseph Home has been a good place for John to grow up. He gets a lot of activity here, and if you know John Brooks, he wants to be active all the time, and it has impacted him by keeping him happy, and that's what we want, just for John to be happy.
I've worked with a lot of parents that have come to the decision that it's just getting to be too much to do at home, taking care of their loved one. So I try to assure them that, sometimes we reach a point where we can't do this anymore. So I try to encourage them that now is the time for them to be their parent, and now we'll be their caregiver.
When I think about the work of the staff, supporting the needs of the residents, they truly are the hands, the arms, the feet, the legs, the voice, the ears of God, making an impact on the residents of St. Joseph Home.
I think we all are bonded together from the care that we provide our residents. And it goes beyond just the DSPs and nurses that are providing that direct physical medical care.
Everybody seems to love what they do. They're passionate about the fact that they're caring for and trying to make the residents' lives better. And it creates this sense of positive energy that you feel as soon as you walk into the building.
To work here, I think you have to be very compassionate and you have to be open to the relationships that are formed here. It has to be more than a job. It has to be a vocation or a strong desire to serve others.
I would consider the staff of St. Joseph Home to be like an extended family of my own.
St. Joseph Home probably doesn't exist without volunteers. They bring such a specialized grace and blessing with them that's different than what our staff brings. So why would we want to do this without our volunteers?
I would say our volunteers bring something different to the residents. They bring more of a friendship than the caregiver.
The home does a great job with activities and larger events. They take residents out to different parts of the community, whether it's Reds games or to the zoo or the aquarium, and doing the kinds of things everybody else gets to do, and the residents really love those things.
I think the volunteers bring activity and energy to the residents.
I think with Terry, one of the residents that I spend a lot of time with, of getting to know him and sort of developing a connection with him, there was a point where I'm working with him at the day program facility and talking to him, and we're having a good time doing our thing. And he kind of reached his hand out and kind of kept going, And then he actually put his hand around my shoulder and pulled me in for a hug. So that was one of those moments where I thought, you know what, this is why I'm doing it.
We've always needed donors and generous people in the community to fill the gap in terms of what we receive and what it actually costs us to provide the compassionate and skillful care that we want to provide and that we do provide.
As I look to my own resources to provide support of the work here at the home, I think it's a great satisfaction as I look inward, find that the home is parked in a piece of my heart. And I want to continue being supportive of the mission, the ministry, and the services provided here at the home.
A lot of people have asked, how do you do what you do? Those children can't walk, they can't talk. You know, that must be so sad. And I tell them it's just the opposite. They give me more joy than I give them. They appreciate things that we take for granted.
If I'm visiting with some of the residents and, you know, I get them to smile or laugh or whatever it may be, pull me in for a hug, I know I've made their day better just in those brief moments. And, you know, to me, that's what it's all about. If you make someone's day better, that's making a difference in their lives.
I think St. Joseph Home has transformed my life and made my wife and I and my other children, John's brother and sister, more secure that he's in a good place.
There's something about St. Joseph Home that touches the heart in ways that few places can touch the heart. Once people come and experience it, they know there's something really special going on here.